Hello, welcome to Words Out Podcast, where we tell you what's up and what's out in the world of poetry. I'm Sammy B. This is...
I'm Kenny.
Kenny
Walker Jr.
And this is our special guest, JROSE.
Hi.
Welcome. So JROSE is I guess we're friends now,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah. I want to say, I met you last year at Voices in Power. I remember that very specifically because you had come with all of your New York friends, so you were all hyped up.
You rolled up with a crew.
We rolled up deep, yeah.
You rolled up deep. Okay.
We was not playing.
Right. So
I do.
I met you. I met Hattress that day. I met Poetic Boy D. Hattress I didn't meet. I met him at the next Voices in Power. But yeah, I met a bunch of you guys. Yeah. I remember I had to ask you like what every person's Instagram was because I couldn't hear it.
I think we were sitting next to each other.
We were.
That's how we met. That's so crazy.
Yeah, but then I followed you and I found out that you were a curator of your own events, actually. So
yes.
that was actually crazy that like I had met you as an event goer and I was like, oh, you do events too. That's great.
Yes.
And it was also crazy for me because I had just started curating my events too.
Right.
So I felt like that was very like
Kismet.
Right, very like cosmic, we were meant to meet each other because since then you've had me on like your website doing the Rose
Garden events.
the Rose Garden events, the Blooming Talent of the Month. Was it?
The Blooming Talent of the Month on the website. Yes, of course.
So for those of you who don't know, JROSE, she has this website where she lists all of her events, and she also does a Blooming Talent of the Month.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah, it's just a section on the website that like highlights artists that, I feel need to have, be seen in more spaces and have their work shared and just people to, give them a space to just let the world know that they're here doing art and being creative. And so that's what Blooming Talent, it can be, sometimes it's poets, sometimes it's visual artists. I've had, lyricists, dancers, I've had everybody on the website. It's good to give people some shine,
Yeah. No, I really love that idea of, highlighting a certain artist, or I've had that idea myself for poetry and paintings.
You should do, definitely. I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me more about your events specifically, because you do a lot of them. It's not just one event. You've done several types of events.
I do a lot of events. I've done a lot of events. Mostly I do a lot of open mics. I have a monthly open mic that we do every second Friday in Brooklyn. But I also do showcases and visual arts exhibitions. So once a year for Women's History Month, I do a visual arts showcase for women. So we showcase all visual art from women, vendors, performers, DJs, like it's all to celebrate the ladies. And we do that every year. And I actually do some showcases as well. And I have a really big showcase coming up this month. I can't wait to talk about it a little bit later, I think. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's really awesome. So like, how did you start going from writing poetry to curating events? Like, what was that journey like?
It was like jumping off of a cliff. So, so I've been writing for a really long time. I've been writing for over 25 years now. And I only took the stage about 8 years ago. And I took the stage because I decided that I wanted to host a poetry slam, but I didn't want to perform. I didn't want to compete in it. I just wanted to host a poetry slam because that's all I really knew about spoken word. I wasn't really like, I had never performed before, so I wasn't like in the open mic scene. I had never gone to an open mic. I had only gone to like a few slams, like at a few places. So I decided I want to do a slam. And I was like, damn, if I host it, I guess I have to perform too. So I guess I'll get on stage and practice that. But I think it was just really a way of me trying to find myself again, because at the time I was going through a lot and I was like, felt really lost. I felt like I was just living for the relationship I was in, for the job I was working, for the kids I was raising. And I wasn't really living for I wasn't doing anything to like live for myself. So I was like, I want to host this event, see how it goes. Whatever. I'll try to perform too. And here I am 8 years later and doing a whole lot more.
Oh my goodness. Isn't that how it always starts off?
Yeah. I like that story because it reminds me a little bit of mine. I was always in poetry for the last 20 years or so and always doing open mics. But I had bands and everything else, but I really started getting into the South Jersey open mic scene after I got divorced.
Right.
And I was like finding myself. And that's what you have to
Yeah.
And even my daughter, because my girls lived with me, and even my daughter, my 16-year-old, at the time she was 16, she was like, Dad, look, I know you like doing open mics. I'll watch my sisters. You just go ahead.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
Yeah,
my kids are supportive of my art. My daughter's pretty cool about it, and my son is like one of my biggest fans. He like knows my poems. He like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. He knows. He may not know them like their words, but he knows what they're about. So he'll be like, oh, did you do the poem about this, the poem about that? And I'll be like, why do you know my poems?
Why wouldn't he know your poems?
I know. He hears me practicing all the time, so he's like, "Yeah, why not learn it like a song?" So, yeah.
No, that's awesome. Honestly, I wish I had kids. I wish I had a kid who would memorize my poetry.
Listen,
look, it's all nice when they do that and they know your stuff, but when they get to those teenage years, and you wish you didn't have. Sometimes
I thought I was gonna be like the coolest mom.
Yeah.
And then my kids were gonna think I was cool, but I'm not. Their friends think I'm cool, but
they're
like,
yeah.
I'm so cringe.
And then sometimes they get on your nerves. You're like, fuck these kids.
Right.
Yeah. I love you,
but
fuck these kids.
Well, Kenny.
but with love.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying.
Tell me how you really feel.
I love you to death. I'll do anything for you.
Yeah.
But fuck you sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm stressed.
Listen,
these kids be testing you.
Yeah.
Man, you were just talking about how your kid was so sweet and
he's sweet and support. It was like a Sour Patch Kid. Like, they're sour, they're sweet. Yeah. Like, it's just a little bit of both. It's chaotic.
Your oldest is a girl, right?
My oldest is a girl, 17, and my youngest is 8.
I'm gonna ask you this: what's easier, boys or girls?
Oh gosh,
I think boys are easier.
You know what?
I had 3 daughters, so I got really tested.
Oh man, that's a crazy question. I never thought about it actually. I feel like they both as they both get older, they both are way better, right? Like, they're maturing, they're like holding themselves accountable. They are both emotionally intelligent children, and I really love that. But when they were both younger, like comparing, my son was like chaos. My daughter was chill. Like, she would just be like, sometimes I'd be like, what are you doing in here? It's so quiet. And she'd just be sitting there watching Blue's Clues, on the TV, just chilling. But my son is like he was climbing things. He was like falling down the stairs. Like, he was just doing things. And I'm like, why are you doing these things?
Oh my God.
Screaming for no reason.
Like, how dare you? And so he was more chaotic when he was younger. But they've both gotten a lot easier as they get older. they just do annoying stuff.
Word.
I tell you 7 times.
How do you balance being a mom and also doing all these events? Because I know how much it takes to do an event. I can only do one every 3 months, and I go crazy.
That's a very good question because
balance is a lie. It does not exist. There is no balance. There is acceptance that sometimes you're gonna have to pour more into the other things, and your family is gonna have to you might not have to be present for them, and there's going to be times where you are fully present for them, and what you have going on outside of them has to be put on hold or put on a break. Sometimes there's these moments of like, oh, serenity, this is happening, kids, breakfast was made, kids are in school on time, I'm getting things done, I got to the school on time, like things are just, everything is beautiful, I got to do this.
Yeah,
things are in sync, but that doesn't like last long because the way life works is it just, that's it. And so I've come to terms where I let go of this notion that there's going to be some type of balance in my life someday, because that shit is never coming. Sometimes it's going to be balanced, and then sometimes things are not going to be balanced, and that's what balances it all out.
That's a poem.
Yeah, that is.
A poem.
Let me tell you, these two women have been speaking in poem since they both got here for the last hour, and they keep talking and having these conversations before we go. And they're like, yeah. And they look at, oh, that's a poem. I'm like, so
my whole life is a poem. How's that?
That's why we write.
That's why we write. So, how many poems do you have about the kids?
I have no poems about my kids.
Fuck them kids.
No, you know
that's
crazy.
What she said.
So
she
I'm dying to like challenge my pen, right? And push my pen. So I want to write like a funny poem. Like I really, because I'm a funny person, but I'm not like a scripted funny person.
Yeah.
So like writing a funny poem is kind of a challenge for me because that feels scripted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially once I bring it to the stage. But I want to write a funny poem, and I keep trying to think, well, what can I write about that's really, really funny in my life? And one of the ideas is like I could just write about my kids and just being a mom, and I'm like a semi-millennial mom. I don't know what I am anymore, but millennial, Gen, whatever. I don't know. I'm in purgatory, in purgatory, whatever. Yeah, that's the word. I'm in purgatory.
You're like a late millennial, I think.
Yeah.
I'm the
early.
Late
Gen
Xer.
Late Gen Xer.
Right. Yeah.
Early millennial. You know, but
I'm a Gen Xer and I'm proud of it.
Listen.
I'm a Gen Xer. Act like an X-Man.
Yeah, like with these, I think, I could write some funny shit about dealing with these children because they are crazy, and they do things and say things to me that I can't make this shit up, and I also work with children as a teaching artist. So like I get to deal with other people's children as well. That is not easy. And I feel like I'm surrounded by children all the time. Everywhere I go home, there's children. I go to work, there's children. Oh my gosh.
I'm a big kid, so you're still surrounded by children.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we all are big kids. I feel like it's a sign for me to like really just be present with my inner child when I'm in these spaces, because they do bring out the inner child in me.
And I feel like that's the energy about your events that I like, is that I feel like when I go, like everyone is always so welcoming. Everyone is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like
it's a vibe. We're family. I've been hosting and curating events in New York for 8 years now, consistently for 5 years. But I started 8 years ago for the first time, and I feel like I've taken a lot of time to pour into the platform, to pour into the community, to build this like tribe in a way. I even took a break from being a writer and focusing on performing, where I was still performing here and there, just not as often as I am now, because I was so focused for 4 years to like really pour into the platform and give space to other people. And then once the platform, the open mic got to a point where it was kind of running itself, I didn't have to like I don't know, I didn't have to like choke people to come to the event. Like, come to the event, come to the event. I didn't have to like go to a million open mics just to promote my own shit. Like, I got known and people know about the Rose Garden events. People are spreading the word themselves. When the platform got to that point, then I was like, yes, back to being a poet, because you motherfuckers forgot. And I'm here to remind you that I'm a poet.
Now, let me ask you a question, because we all hosted different events. What's the best advice you can give someone who's hosting?
Oh gosh. It's never gonna go the way you planned 100%.
No.
Never.
There's always something that's not gonna go as planned.
Yep.
So you have to be like, if you're not a solution-minded and solution-driven person, don't bother curating or hosting or doing any of that shit, because
Nope.
you are not made to do this.
Mm-mm.
You have to be a solution-minded person, because when things come, you have to make really fast decisions sometimes to come up with really quick solutions. And if you're not a solution-minded person, you're gonna be lost. And if you don't have a team that has anybody in that team that's solution-minded, then you're just like the blind leading the blind. So, you know, make sure that you are a solution-minded person. Have a team. If you can, you know, build with others that are like-minded. It's hard to find people that are reliable. So, you
Yeah.
know, you have to understand that some things may not work out with some people, and that has to be okay. But
You know, I just had to give Sammy and I were at an event last week that I was hosting, and shit went sideways.
It
Like-
was so like
It went
not the regular
way too-
vibe. Not the regular vibe.
Like, this is like regular. The shit was way over here to the left. It was just like way. So, and it was one of the things where, like, as a host, I kind of lost control because the one person that was in charge of the whole event was like, "Oh, let it go." I'm like, you know what? Okay. Because you can't control everything.
no,
Yeah.
you can't.
So sometimes you have to sit back and be like, okay.
Sometimes you gotta, you know, and that's another piece of advice. Like, go to other people's shows and do some like field research.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not not with a competitive mindset, because for me that's never my mentality.
No.
I go to other shows because I want to see like what's really working and how they produce the show, that I may want to implement something similar in like my system or how I do things. Even like watching other hosts, I learned a lot from watching other people, you know, even listening to other poets. Those 4 years that I took from being like super focused on writing, I spent listening and hearing so many poets. Like, literally, I could say thousands. I've listened to thousands of poets in those 4 years, because I was doing virtual open mics during the pandemic, all of that shit, right? I feel like spending all that time listening to all these people, I was just soaking in all this creativity. It was just like boiling in me, like bubbling. And then when it was time for me to like sit down and I started writing again, I have to say, like, the last 3 years, I've probably written some of my best work that I've written in like 25 years, for sure. And I owe it to being inspired by listening to others and watching others. I feel like, you know, that's always huge.
Yeah, no, I also go to a lot of open mics, and I definitely, my writing skill has improved dramatically, or maybe not improved, but it's been influenced.
It's evolved.
Right, yeah. Because I don't want to say that my old work wasn't good. 'Cause
Right.
I still read it. It still hits.
Right. Facts.
I still get likes on Instagram, so.
Going.
The biggest room in the world is room for improvement.
Right.
So
yeah.
you can always get better. You
Yeah.
can always get better.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
so we're sitting here with JROSE right now. JROSE is all the way from the Bronx.
Queens. I'm a
Queens.
Queens. Everybody always thinks
Queens,
Bronx or Brooklyn,
yeah.
but I'm from Queens.
Okay, Queens, kind of like Peter Parker. She's from Queens.
Yeah. It's my neighbor.
And yeah, you know, and the fact that you do that reference
Absolutely.
is weird. So yeah, so we're talking to you. Say anybody's listening, you have any questions, please come on the site and let us, ask whatever you want to ask. Why is Kenny Walker so handsome? Why are the women on the podcast so beautiful? Whatever you want to ask.
Oh my goodness, Kenny.
So, yes.
You fishing for compliments right now. Someone help Kenny's self-esteem.
I have a hard life, okay?
I know.
Sometimes you gotta hear it.
Sometimes I gotta hear it, man.
Kenny's
So
good egg.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to step away.
Okay.
We're going to give you time to spit.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Oh gosh.
JROSE, ladies and gentlemen.
Without further ado.
Thank you. It's always wild to me when they ask, how am I still single? As if I'm the personification of all that glitters ain't gold, as if beneath the surface there's soil too toxic to plant roots so bold, but that's far from the truth. I'm single because I know how potent my love is. And I have yet to meet someone worthy of that addiction. See, my love pumps like written storms in veins. It's nonfiction. And most men don't have enough heart to hold this much magic. They lack diction. They'd rather step to me because all they see is my body, only to find out that this vessel carries the soul of a divine goddess, and she's not here to play games. I need that divine masculine claim to connect on the same frequency, and only then can he receive my love frequently. See, I've only got time for growth, so he's got to be willing to pour into me. And reciprocity is key, but he's got to unlock his inner chi so he can get the overflow of this inner G. And I know nobody's perfect, but balance is important. A prototypical blend of needed and chosen, because although my love is healing, it's not meant for the broken. My love ain't Mrs. Fix It. It just fits in. Like his favorite hoodie when that crisp fall air starts to slip in. My love be warm. It'd be the difference. Subtracting issues from trust and summing things up like addition. And I know I didn't follow PEMDAS, but my love doesn't follow the rules anyway, so fuck it. My love be spiritual. It be knees on pews. It be lips pouring answered prayers against pressed palms. It's the peace you feel when sage starts to burn. It calms and it cleanses. It speaks more than 5 love languages with more than 5 senses. My love be shelter from storms. Familiar when everything feels foreign. My love be home. But not the dysfunctional one most of us grew up in. Nah. It's the one that holds no space for generational curses, where we treat our love like sacred verses and not of verses. My love be fingertips playing in his beard while he listens to the poems beating in my chest. It takes doubts to the bedroom just to lay them to rest. It be cooking lunch in his t-shirt while he still tasting breakfast on his breath, like the sweet honey dripping from my depths. My love be blessed. It be fire to icebox, melting away glaciers of past lovers' cold shoulders. It be shoulder to cry on, back to rely on. My love be the belt that keeps Orion hunting the night skies, the gravitational pull that tethers his sun to my moon like perennial soul ties. My love be celestial. It be stars skipping across time and space like the heartbeats of extraterrestrials, loving beyond the outer limits of anything conventional. My love be transformational. A never-ending Tuesday. Shit. Because even a day of the week and a day for the week, so my love stands strong in the face of defeat. So to any single men out there, before you shoot your shot and try to latch me down, let me give you this disclosure. Now that you've seen the light of my love like exposure, I ask you to develop understanding that this is also the type of love I want and deserve without demanding. So your intentions better be aligned, because this queen only got time for a king. Thank you. Thank you. Whew, okay, I got one more poem for y'all. This is the most recent piece I've written, or should I say the most recent piece I've brought to the stage. This is a don't do list. Don't allow yourself to be loved in the shadows. You deserve to be praised through echoes of light. You are not a secret garden. Let your flowers bloom loudly and as vibrant as your spirit. Don't clip your wings to tether yourself to featherless pheasants. Soar so high that any man that wants to be close to you has to raise his standards just to be within your reach. Don't pour into cups riddled with unsealed holes. You'll only end up empty, unable to pour into your own. Don't hold your tongue. Your lips were not made to be levees. They are rivers that overflow with wisdom, medicine, and magic. Don't build a home in someone else's darkness. Just because you were birthed by sun and raised by moon doesn't mean you should eclipse your light to be put in rotation. Your complexities are as intricate as a solar system. Let these men orbit around you like unsettling satellites until you meet your comet of commitment. Don't swipe right. Get the fuck off these apps. They not looking for a wife. Don't settle for mediocre dick or men that can't eat pussy. You deserve experiences of ecstasy that exhilarate you endlessly. But also don't confuse good dick for a future. Take the mask off that final fantasy and face the fact that even fools can fabricate facades that resemble forever. You are worthy of taking a seat at the love table without reservations, and after dessert, you deserve a big tip without hesitation, because there's something so beautiful about reciprocation. Don't shrink yourself like Alice, because even the right bite of that mushroom can make shit go left. Don't act like you belittle because a man belittled you in your soft girl era. You've pitched enough thick skin for far too long. These extra innings are for you to grand slam home run your way into the healthiest, most loving home base you could ever imagine. Don't let these players make shortstops between your legs. You are far more than a filler between their past and their future. You are beyond the now and the later, like past lives and soul ties, switching games like you're Deion Sanders coming off the sidelines. You are a World Series served in a Super Bowl. A record-breaking 90-yard catch most men have fumbled. Don't let them intercept and touchdown on your playing fields. Keep them humbled. Don't picture them in your end zone just to be tackled into their friend zone, because that's a false start. Don't give them 4 chances to put you down first. There's no safety in that. Make change like you just gave them a quarterback. Don't let a man get too comfortable with having you. Giving Southern comfort does not make you a comfort zone, but do know you're a safe space for the right man to grow. Planting accountability and communication that seeds to sow. Don't share a bed with someone who sleeps peacefully knowing your pillows are soaking in tears. You've been haunted enough times to recognize ghosts of neglect. Don't let these pussy pirates wave you off like a one-time courtesy. Your oceans are deep enough to drown men in happiness, and anyone blessed enough to swim in you will protect your sacred waters. And finally, don't you ever forget, you are queen, lover, mother, daughter, sister, friend, healer, nurturer, therapist, chef, teacher, home, peace, and most importantly, a divine goddess in the flesh. And anyone claiming to love you would never allow you to feel like anything less. Thank you.
All right.
Sweat 'em. Storm. Thank you.
Yeah, that was dynamite.
Thank you so much.
Ooh, fire.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. No, I love your poetry. I think, well, today it was very like love centric.
It was.
I know. I've been in a space. Sorry, no, space of writing from I guess love, or the boundaries of love, or the boundaries that need to be created for love to properly flourish.
Oh, I see. Wow.
I've never really written too many love poems.
Oh wow!
I remember years ago when I was in my 20s, I had a girlfriend. I used to go to the jazz club and perform my poetry in the jazz club. And somebody came up to my girlfriend and goes, "I bet you get a lot of love poems." She's like, "Not really. He doesn't write love poems. I'm always writing about the revolution. I don't know."
Yeah. He's very Wakanda.
Wow.
No, in a good way. I love Wakanda. What are you talking about?
Nothing wrong with that. Everybody has their preference of what, the spaces they enjoy to write from. So that's your space. That's totally fine.
So let's get the off the wall question.
Okay.
All right.
The crazy.
Was we living off the wall? Okay. So, you what? No, I had this all day. Really, I have. I think of these things.
I believe you. I'm just waiting for the question.
I don't think
question.
I don't think my boss listens to anything on my social media. So yeah, while I'm sitting at work, I'm thinking about different things I could be doing and how to do them. So I'll be thinking.
I listen as you should.
Yes.
Make multitasks, all right?
So you're sitting in a movie theater. You're stuck there.
Oh.
And you can't leave this theater. But the theater only shows 3 of your favorite movies. And you gotta watch these 3 movies over there. What 3 movies are we watching?
Oh God.
Because I'm stuck there with you, and Sammy's stuck there with you. So don't piss us off.
Oh, the 3 of us?
No. But it's your favorite movies. It's your movies.
Okay.
We're stuck in this room.
We're all in there together. Not gotta worry about you guys being
No, you
entertained.
can't worry about us. You gotta worry about us.
Don't worry.
I'll be stressed.
No. It's your favorite movies.
Okay.
It's 3.
Oh gosh. Okay. Pulp Fiction
Okay.
would have to be one of them.
Good one.
That movie's amazing.
It would keep us entertained.
The script is phenomenal.
Yeah. It's the wallet that says motherfucker. Okay, go ahead.
Oh gosh. I'm trying to think of something that's like recent that I really loved so that I can have
It
like
could be old.
I know, but I want like a mixture, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want all the old shit because then I'm gonna be like, wait, I saw some good movies. As I'm trying to think, what have I seen that's really good recently? Oh gosh. I would have to pick like a horror movie. Maybe like Train to Busan is this wild zombie movie.
Okay.
Korean zombie movie.
Yeah, it's wild. It's so good. It's such a good movie.
Now she's talking to you.
Yeah. Literally speaking my language.
Yes. All right. So yes, I would do Pulp Fiction, Train to Busan, and then just because I still really love this movie, The Lion King.
The original Lion King.
The original Lion King.
Not the remake that they
Not
did.
the remake with Beyonce.
Yeah, no, that
the
was
real
hard.
shit with Jonathan Taylor Thomas as
Yes.
Simba.
And Whoopi Goldberg and yeah, that one's good. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I was
The Lion King.
Right.
It's a great film.
It is a good film.
I like your choices.
I laughed, I cried,
I've never seen a zombie movie because I stay away from horror movies.
I don't normally watch zombie movies or horror movies either, but I do know Train from Busan is a very popular
It's
Korean
so
horror
good.
film.
like my kids are really into horror movies, right? Even my 8-year-old son, ever since he was little. And I remember we watched Train to Busan and it's subtitles. And at the time he wasn't really like good at reading that fast. He still did. So he didn't know what they were saying, but he was so invested in the movie. Like he would emotionally respond to things as if he knew what they were saying. It was so
That's good acting because
so-
they can relay.
Yeah. But then we were talking about the other day, my daughter was like, oh my God, he kept asking me, what did they say? It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, that movie is so good. It's so good. I love scary movies. Like stuff like that. I don't like possessed movies. That's a little too real for me.
Right.
Like that's
Like Poltergeist or something.
yeah, like the Exorcist type of stuff.
Exorcist.
Or, like demon children. Like, no, thank you.
No, but
I watch a good zombie vampire flick,
Right.
So
Get
you're
the
a big
blood
Walking Dead
boiling.
fan, I guess.
I loved Walking Dead for a good amount of years. Yes.
Well, after Negan showed up and killed, then I stopped watching it after Negan.
Man, when they killed Greg, I was so
we knew what was
emotional.
happening.
I was emotionally fucked up for like I cried. Like you ever watch a show, and that doesn't happen to me often. There's only a few shows where like they kill the character, and I've actually cried as that was a real person. Walking Dead did that to me, and Grey's Anatomy did that to me. I remember one time with Grey's Anatomy, I'm like crying, and my partner at the time is like wakes up in the middle of the night, and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "They killed George." And he was like, "Who's George?" Like he was so worried that my friend George got killed, and I was like, "From Grey's Anatomy." He was like, "What the fuck?"
He's like, bitch,
He's like, "I won't be over that shit." I was like, "Go back to sleep, Jazz." Like, what the fuck?
Those attachments are real. I don't care what anyone
That's
says.
how you know they played a great role, and they
you-
wrote a great role because you get emotionally like a book. I've
Have you
cried.
ever
I've
read
cried
the
at
book?
books.
Have you ever read the Walking Dead comic book?
No, I never read the comic
We knew
book.
that he was going.
Oh, see, yeah, y'all knew. I didn't.
I didn't read the book, but I know people read the book, so we knew he was going to die.
That's like me with Harry Potter stuff. Like I went to see one of the Harry Potter movies with a friend of mine. Mind you, I read all the books already.
Yeah.
And it was the movie where like Dobby dies.
Mm-hmm.
So we're walking out of a movie theater and he turns and looks at me with disgust. And I was like, "What's wrong with you?" And he was like, "You knew." And I was like, "Knew what?" He was like, "That Dobby was gonna die." And I was like, "Yeah, I read the books." He was like, "I don't even know you." And I was like, "What do you want me to ruin it for you?" I didn't know they were gonna, like, how do I know that they killed him? And what if they decided not to kill him in the movie?
Right.
Like, that's not my business. You need to experience the movie. Like, you should have read the books. Don't be mad at me. Shit. I knew he was gonna die. That's why I didn't cry, but you did, bitch.
Don't blame me for your tears.
Right?
You can't.
It's your fault.
I cried in the privacy of my bedroom.
Yes. Under a lamp.
You mad at me because you cried in public.
Right.
That's just not right. That's just not right until you laugh like that. You know, I don't cry.
You
So,
should. Everyone
I
should
don't
cry.
cry.
Just
Daddy
a
don't
little
cry.
bit.
Oh, you should
Daddy don't
cry.
cry.
Just a little
Daddy don't cry.
bit. Listen.
He cries himself to sleep every night.
Every
I
night.
promise.
Only because
Those
Janet
drives
Jackson,
home.
only because Janet Jackson hasn't called yet. Okay.
That'll make me cry too, though.
Yeah. See.
Call him, Janet. Just
Call him,
just
Janet.
Cut
Call
the
him,
bullshit.
Janet.
Just
Call him so he can stop crying.
Please call me Janet. Please. I named my bass guitar after Janet.
Oh, how romantic.
I know. I'm gonna meet her one day and play a song for her. So
I'm here for it. When I'm gonna see it on social media and be like, I know him. I know that guy.
oh no, I'll be famous then.
That
So.
easy.
I'll be famous. So anybody I know now.
There goes
Oh,
Kenny
that's a
KP
good one.
Walker.
Be like,
Remember when we used to know him?
Yeah, you know,
I met him at an art
famous.
gallery once. I met him at an art
Yeah,
gallery.
yeah. Once
Great
I become
guy.
famous, like
Great
yeah,
guy.
bro. Yeah, I'm like, guy. So, what do you have coming up?
Oh,
Let's talk
I'm
about
so
it.
glad you asked.
Let's talk
Pass
about
me
it.
a flyer over here. Yes, honey. Well, I have got the biggest showcase I've ever done, ever. It's called the Legends. See, guys, the Legends. Oh, it's backwards for y'all, but for y'all see it. It's the Legends Showcase. It's called Legends, a spoken word affair. It's in Queens at Jamaica Performing Arts Center. I am featuring. I've curated this lineup of amazing artists. I'm featuring Mahogany L. Brown, Obi West, Maui the Writer, Prentice Powell, Jamello, Baby the Poet, Dex McBean, Cito Blanco, and Amanda Shea. We have Queen Sheba, Grammy-nominated artist, who's hosting the event for us. It's going to be catered by this really dope restaurant called Charm in Brooklyn. And, you know, this is the biggest event I've ever put together. I was talking to you before we started. Like, I started from the point that this was an idea, a seedling of an idea. It's been 6 months that I've been planning this event. And, you know, it's very stressful. And you guys know what it's like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard enough, like, putting together one event, but then to stay consistent, right? But this event is going to, my plans for this is for this event to be an annual event. So I want it to be something really big, that people come out to New York every year to attend with various different headlining poets. So yeah, I cannot wait. I'm so nervous. We're a little less than 3 weeks away. Yesterday was 3 weeks away, and my anxiety is on 1,000.
Oh no.
I just gotta get through it. Like, I'm at the point where I've thought about this event so much at this point that, like,
I'm sorry.
it needs to just happen.
Yeah.
It needs to just happen so that I can move on with my life.
Oh.
You know, it's the same story with any big event. I spend months planning it. The day comes,
Happens just like that.
the blink of an eye, right?
Mhm.
And then you're like sitting home, driving home, like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that.
I put the link if you want to try to get a
Yes.
hold of her try to go over JROSE. You can go to her events. The link is in our.
Yes,
is in
come
there.
out to. You can check out the tickets on my website at therosegardenevents.com. You can follow me on social media at My Crumbled Thoughts. That's My Crumbled Thoughts. I have a lot going on aside from this amazing project, this amazing show that is going to happen this month. It's October 22nd, Sunday. I'm also getting ready to finally publish my first poetry book.
Finally!
That was a hard clap. She was like, finally.
Right.
Yes,
So
finally.
when should the book come out?
January. I'm aiming to have this book ready by January. And then a couple months later, I will be releasing my first poetry album. So
Could you? I'm sorry.
Yes,
When you release the book, can you come back?
I will come back with, yes, absolutely. I plan to go on some tour, book tour, whatever you want to call it. I'm definitely going to come back, revisit some of the other spaces that I featured at. And yeah, if anybody is in the Maryland, Baltimore area, I will be featuring at Busboys and Poets on the 19th in the Hyattsville location. So that's what I have going on. I think that's it. There's more, but
Sure.
I'm going to stop there.
But if you go to the website,
Come to the
you'll see-
website.
Go to
Follow
the
me on
website,
Instagram.
The website, you put
It's
the
all there.
website link, and if you go to the website, you'll see, everything you need to see, and you got the information in order to
Growing.
keep growing and talk to JROSE.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you, thank you.
problem.
Thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone else who is in the Philadelphia area, October 7th, I'm going to be hosting Poetry and Paintings open mic stage at 2:00 on Lighthouse Field for Soul Tree Fest. You can check out them out on Instagram at Soul Tree Fest, or I think is their website soultreefest.com. I forget.
Might just be on their Soul Tree website.
Right.
I'm mad I'm missing that. I have to go. I'm gonna be at a retreat, like facilitating a workshop at this retreat upstate New York. And it's been like in my calendar since last year because it's the annual retreat. I did it last year. They wanted me back this year. So it's been in my calendar forever. And I told Jose from Solar Tree, very good friend of mine, as a matter of fact, very, very good friend of mine. He knew that I was gonna be at this retreat. And I told him, don't push the date back just for me. Even though in my heart I wanted to be like, wait. But yes, I definitely will be there next year.
All
Fuck
right.
that.
Yeah.
Also, too,
But you can follow at Poetry and Paintings New Jersey, or go to poetryandpaintings.org. You can also follow me at ITSBYMMAS. It's Sammy B backwards.
and we are filming this live at the Lair Gallery in Oakland, New Jersey. You see the paintings behind us. The whole room has a bunch of paintings on the wall. The Lair Gallery in Oakland, New Jersey is at 916 White Horse Pike, Oakland, New Jersey. And this gallery is also a venue space. And if you know any artists, any budding artists, or if you're an artist yourself, come through, talk to Liz, and we can see if we can get you on the wall to sell some of your art. You can follow me on Facebook at Kenny KP Walker Jr. And you can follow me on Instagram at Mr. Kenny KP Walker Jr.
Yeah, because old Kenny KP Walker Jr. is no longer available. If you look up Kenny KP Walker Jr., you'll find him. He's just not using that account anymore.
Yeah. So, and Thursday, I will be at the Lair Gallery hosting an open mic this Thursday coming up. And Friday, I will be at Lyrics to Go. For Lyrics to Go, I'll be at Picture Perfect Affairs hosting the first Friday there. And Saturday night, I will be doing my podcast with my sister, Kathy and Kenny, Explain Pop Culture. You know what we're talking about this Friday?
What?
You guys might be, I don't know if you remember the show, The Love Boat.
Oh yeah.
Well, our show is going to be about, this Saturday night, it's going to be about recasting The Love Boat.
Oh.
If The Love Boat was done today, who would be on the Love Boat and who would be the guest.
That's right.
And I already have in my mind, I'm gonna put Craig Robinson as Isaac. He'd be perfect though. Craig Robinson, he'd be perfect. He'd be perfect as Isaac.
That's such an old show.
I know. And well, we do things like that.
Yeah, I love that.
We go back in time and
The memory lane.
Yeah, memory lane.
Don't talk that about my son. My son will be like, "Was that in the 1900s?"
Oh,
I look at him like,
yeah, they all think that.
"You're so
They all think
disrespectful."
that. They all
The,
think
the last decade of the 1900s.
You know,
Sure.
right?
that. Like I think my kids actually thought I'm old enough to be around when Martin Luther King was around.
I'm
I
weak.
think they think the same thing.
I tell my students when I share something old with them, I'll be like, "Yeah, you know, back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth," and they're like, they start laughing at me like, I make myself mad old. They're like, "You're not that old, miss."
Oh, it's all right. I mean,
We
you gotta make the joke, right?
Right.
Because
We're not
to the kids, you're old as fuck. So
Right.
Yeah,
That
but we're
part.
still the cool parents.
I am the cool. I'm not a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
except to your kids.
Except to them, yes.
I'm the cool dad.
Except to your kids.
Yes.
Except to my kids. I embarrass them all the time.
That's fine. It's fine.
That's what we're here for.
All right, so thank you once again for joining Words Out podcast. We will be back next week with
Lady Siren.
Okay. Oh, we got Lady Siren. We got Lady Siren next week.
I love
Oh,
her.
I love Lady Siren.
I
She
definitely
is-
want to catch that.
Yo, she's the shit.
She is
Yeah.
amazing. She just dropped a book too.
Yeah.
I told her, I messaged her the other day, like, "Yo, when you come to Legends, bring me a copy of that book."
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "I got you."
And you know what? She's so when you watch her perform, I can't wait to see her next week. When you watch her perform, she's so magnetic
Oh yeah.
and so like wow. But then when you talk to her, like this kind of way, she's so damn down to earth and so like
Yeah.
I didn't
She's
like
peaceful.
yeah, she's very peaceful.
But
And I was at
she's
an
a
open
force
mic
on
one
that
time,
stage.
and you know, I don't always recognize people. And I was at an open mic and I sat down and she was sitting the next row right over me. She looked at me, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And she's like, you know, but yeah, she's
I love
really
it.
good.
I
people.
love it.
Really
Oh,
good
you
people.
guys are gonna have such a great show.
Really good
So
people.
next week, Lady Siren. Mm-hmm.
Next week, Lady Siren.
Y'all better be
This
there.
week, let's hear for JROSE coming through. All right, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace. God bless your soul. Keep
Peace.
living.
Keep
out.
going.
Put your words out.